The 1940s were a time when you either figured out how to grow food well or you went without. And I mean, a lot of what those gardeners discovered, almost out of sheer necessity, still holds up better than most of what you'd find on a modern gardening shelf today. So, well, here are 13 of those old school secrets. The first one still surprises people. Disposable diapers. Clean ones, obviously. The gel inside is designed to absorb water and release it slowly. And that's exactly what thirsty soil needs. Tear one open, mix the gel into your garden bed or tuck it around the roots of a plant that's been struggling through a dry spell, and it sits there like a little reservoir beneath the surface. In dry climates especially, I mean, this can carry a plant through a heat wave without you needing to stand over it every few hours. It sounds odd, and then you try it. If you've ever had a vegetable garden and watched insects move in like they own the place, well, this one is for you. Plant marigolds alongside your vegetables, near your broccoli, your squash, your cucumbers, and they do more than one thing at once, in a way that still seems almost too good to be true. Their scent pushes aphids and beetles away. They release a natural chemical into the soil that discourages nematodes, and they bring in pollinators on top of all that. One plant, a whole lot of work done. Here's one that costs nothing, a garden fork. Compacted soil is, you know, one of the quieter problems in a garden, because you don't always see the damage until a plant just stops thriving. Push a fork about 6 inches deep into your bed, rock it back and forth, and move across the whole space every few inches. You're opening up channels that let water and nutrients actually reach the roots, instead of sitting at the surface and evaporating. 20 minutes across a bed and, well, you'll feel the difference the next time you water. Another low-tech fix born out of wartime necessity, old soda bottles. Poke small holes in the bottom or sides of a clean bottle. Place it near the base of whatever you're growing, pushed into the soil or hung just above it. Fill it with water, and it slowly drips right where it's needed. No equipment, no timer, no cost. Just, gravity doing the job while you get on with your day. Rainwater is worth taking seriously. Collected off your roof into simple barrels, it's better for most plants than tap water. Municipal water often carries chlorine and other additives that plants, don't love over time. Rainwater is softer, more neutral, and completely free. During a dry stretch, having a full barrel ready can be the difference between a garden that pulls through and one that doesn't. People in the 1940s did this without thinking twice, and, well, it worked then for the same reasons it works now. Crop rotation sounds more complicated than it is. Don't grow the same crop in the same bed year after year. Pests and diseases that have settled in around a specific plant will be sitting there waiting for it the following season. Moving things around, keeps them off balance. Try not to repeat the same plant family in the same spot for at least 3 years, and work legumes into the mix because they pull nitrogen back into the soil naturally, a free fertility boost every time they go in. Kitchen scraps, yard waste, dried leaves, left to break down together, become one of the best things you can add to soil. Compost improves texture. helps hold moisture and feeds the organisms in the ground that plants depend on to pull in nutrients. Adding it regularly means building your soil over time instead of wearing it down, which is, how those old kitchen gardens stayed productive season after season without depending on anything that needed to be bought. Plant spacing is something beginners get wrong almost every time. It feels wasteful to leave all that empty ground between seedlings, but, those plants are going to grow. When they're crowded, airflow drops, sunlight can't reach the lower leaves, and disease spreads fast. Give them room, and they absorb nutrients better, stay healthier, and they're easier to deal with when something does go wrong. Always think about the size of the mature plant, not the small thing going into the ground today. A layer of mulch, about 1 to 2 inches deep across your beds, slows evaporation significantly, which means, less watering when the weather heats up. It also blocks weed seeds from getting the sunlight they need to germinate. One thing to watch: don't pile it against the base of your plants. Leave a little gap there because mulch pressed right up against a stem can cause rot, and that tends to sneak up on you well before you notice it. Starting seeds indoors can completely change the shape of your season. If your growing window is short, getting things going inside, under bright light, close enough to keep seedlings from stretching out, means you're putting established plants in the ground instead of, racing the clock with bare seeds in cold, unpredictable spring soil. You can gain several weeks of growing time that would otherwise just vanish before the season even finds its footing. Crushed eggshells scattered around the base of your plants work as a slug barrier. The sharp edges are uncomfortable to cross, so slugs tend to just find another route. As the shells break down over time, they release calcium into the soil, which benefits a wide range of plants. You're getting pest control now and a soil boost later. The wartime gardener's favourite kind of deal: 1 action, 2 results. Compost tea is exactly what it sounds like. Take a scoop of finished compost, let it soak in a bucket of water for a day or two, strain out the solids so you don't get mould, and use that liquid to water your plants or spray it on the leaves. It's gentle and completely free. It doesn't work as fast as a concentrated fertilizer. It just, feeds steadily over time, which is what most plants actually respond to best. That compost tea idea catches people off guard every time. The idea that something this low effort can actually do the job. If you want more of this, old knowledge that held up across decades and still works in a real garden today, stick around, subscribe. And the last one might be the most important. Choose plants that actually belong in your climate zone. When you match the plant to where you are, the right temperatures, the right moisture levels, you stop fighting your conditions every single season. Those plants thrive with less fuss because they're, suited to where they're growing. In the 1940s, nobody could afford to nurse along something that wasn't right for their region. They chose wisely from the start, and their gardens showed it. A lot of what worked 80-odd years ago holds up just as well today, sometimes better now that we understand the reasoning behind it. These weren't guesses. They were, real solutions from people who needed their gardens to deliver. That kind of knowledge doesn't go out of style.